So October is just stacked for new releases on the Switch, so much so in fact rather than one video on upcoming new releases, I'm going to actually be doing 2 this month. So today I'm going to be covering 15 games that I'm psyched for personally that release between October 1st and 15th. Expect then to see a follow up to this video around the 16th of the month to kind of round things out. But yeah, from Mario to Batman to Pikachu, this is one of the best months I've seen in a long time, so let's jump in. My name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner. If you do enjoy the video today, consider subscribing, helps us out a huge amount. Also check out xpcorner.net for the written version of this article, as well as a ton of gaming news that we don't get to feature here on the channel. I've linked that in the pinned comments. Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless, and before we even get into the description of the game, I do want to point out this has a demo available on the eShop, so maybe check that out before you do buy it. You're going to get right around an hour of gameplay out of it. So here in the evolving demon world of Hinamoto, the era of valiant warriors is dwindling. Now amidst this upheaval, the lazy warrior Fuji teams up with Piralika, an enthusiast of the Bushido Code. Together they combat an oppressive regime, delving into the depths of honor and seeking redemption. It promises to be an epic SRPG with tons of new features, including jumpification, helm mode, item reincarnation, new and improved auto battle, and online ranked battles. Then there's over 40 character classes as well, so there's going to be a whole lot of customization centered around your team. Now reviews are already live for this release. It's been critical acclaim from what I've seen, so that is great news for fans of the series. Wargroove 2 also has reviews in the wild. It's another one that's been getting 9s and 10s, so another win there. The first game was fantastic, and I've actually been playing this already myself, and I do have to agree. The story goes that ancient relics have been discovered that are capable of catastrophic consequences, and we are now vying for control. Take to the battlefield, sea and sky with a cast of new commanders, using your wits to wage a turn-based war. It's a must-buy in my opinion, big fan of the original, and this takes things to the next level. From Mission 2, Remake arrives on the very same day as well, so tactical RPG fans, I do feel like it's going to be a great start to October for you all. The first remake they dropped wasn't perfect at launch, but since then they have patched it, and it is quite a bit better. I'm just hoping they can get this one out of the gate a little bit smoother. This entry then takes place 12 years after the original, and it follows 3 characters from different backgrounds explaining their reasons for war. It's attempting to push beyond the concept of a very clear good and evil. I can't say I've played this game before, so I'm excited to check it out come launch. The Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope is the second game in the long-running horror series, and while the first one seemingly dropped out of nowhere on the Switch, we do get some advanced notice on this entry. I love these games, played them all over on the PlayStation, and they are cinematic horror adventures. I did see some complaints around the Switch build of the first game, but I honestly thought they ran great and it looked solid. In this one then we are trapped in an abandoned town covered in a thick fog, tons of mystery to discover, but how many of these characters can you save? That's kind of the big gameplay elements. I love the multiplayer options though with these. This has 2-player online or 5-player local co-op where you control a character each. Just making decisions as a group is great fun. I'll have coverage of this on the channel come release day. Sunshine and Manor is already out on Steam, and it seems opinions are mixed, but I love the look of it, so I had to give it a shout out. It's an 8-bit horror adventure game that challenges you to spend the night in a haunted mansion. It's a prequel to a game called Camp Sunshine, which isn't on the Switch, so it's really a shame they didn't drop both of them at the same time. It seems our main enemy here then will be the Shadow Man, who we will need to evade as we jump between the mortal and demon worlds, solving puzzles and riddles. Detective Pikachu returns, and I really want this to be good, but I do have my concerns. It's also just simply bloody ugly as well. I'm also surprised to see Nintendo dropping it with a $49.99 USD price tag. Something seems off. They can easily get a AAA price tag out of the Pikachu name. In the gameplay then though, we'll be solving mysteries across Rhyme City with a coffee-loving Pikachu and his human partner. Expect to investigate locations, interrogate, and even use some Pokemon abilities to our advantage. Again, I really want this to be good because it's been a long time coming. The Pale Beyond only got announced for the Switch recently, but I am all in on this one. I'm getting a Darkest Dungeon vibe from it, and I can't shake that, so I'll be going in on day one. Now the story sounds great as well. Straight from the eShop, 5 years ago, the Viscount and its crew set sail through the Pale Passage in search of the absolute magnetic self. The ship and its crew were tragically lost to the ice, never to be seen again. Her sister ship, the Temperance, shall follow in her path, hoping to find answers to where the Viscount failed. It's a game of exploration, resource management, and survival. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition has been long requested after the fantastic job they did with the original entries. Here's hoping for more of that same quality from the team. Now, the king of looter shooters, this isn't out to redefine the series, rather it's more of the same expanded and yeah, I guess fine-tuned, and that is absolutely good with me when the formula is, this entertaining. This includes then the base game as well as all 6 expansions and bonus cosmetics. Here then, we're basically out to discover new worlds beyond Pandora, and of course it features online multiplayer. Sadly, however, it seems it's only 2-player instead of 4, which could be disappointing for many. The only confirmation I will say I have of this is the eShop description, so we will learn more soon. Long Gone Days is a game I only discovered as I was putting this list together, and it's instantly shot to the top of my most wanted list for the opening weeks of the month. Now, we follow Rourke, a young man trained from birth to be a sniper for the Corps. This is a private military company. This is another one that's out on Steam already, and reviews they do look good. Now, it promises to be an RPG about human connection during war. It seems there's going to be a huge amount of dialogue packed in here, but yeah, it seems really unique. So yeah, I'm just curious now to see how the combat and the sniper elements play out. Dwerve is an action-adventure dungeon crawler game with tower defense combat, and I love tower defense gameplay, so this was always going to appeal to me. In the story, it seems we are trained to protect ourselves from an evil witch queen who commands an army of bloodthirsty trolls. To do this, we must collect and set up these ancient weapons. It's got this old school visual style that always works for me, and it's promising extensive upgrade options, so yeah, this could be a hit on release if they can get all of these elements to mesh. Company of Heroes Collection then is probably one of the biggest games of October for me on the Switch. I know there are some heavy hitters dropping, but this is a classic that I haven't played in years. Now, I'm really curious to see how they do with this port as well, because it strikes me as an incredibly complex game to convert for the hardware. Gameplay-wise, it's real-time strategy. I'll always support games in the genre as they don't hit the console all that often, and here we are taking command of an army during World War II. It also features then both expansions, and there's just a ton of game time in here for your cash. Haunted House is a reimagining of a classic Atari release. Having watched the trailers to this point, I'm still not sure if I'm entirely sold on this one, but I do hope it's good. There's something about the visuals that's not quite, working for me. They've also taken the game and converted it into a roguelite, which in my opinion just gets overused at the moment. The aim, though, it seems, is to stealth our way around this procedurally generated location to collect up shards that can save our friends that have been captured by ghosts. Subpar Pool looks fantastic from what I've seen. It reminds me of What the Golf. The aim here is to pocket all balls within a set number of shots. As you can see, though, these balls are alive and the visuals are incredibly charming. It also appears to pack a huge amount of content. It's promising 4 different worlds, each with different challenges, procedurally generated tables, and multiple game modes such as a fast run that is of course timed. Dementium The Ward is a game, honestly, I'd never actually heard of, but it appears it was a bit of a cult classic on the DS, and now it's getting a release on the Switch. This isn't just a simple port either, they actually built it from the ground up. The gameplay appears to be a combination of exploration and first-person gunplay, and in the story, we awaken an abandoned hospital with nothing, no memory, no weapons, no clues, so now we must figure out what is happening. Hopefully they've added gyro controls here, I'm not seeing that in the description yet, but yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. Batman Arkham Trilogy is going to be the biggest release for many over the next couple of weeks, and understandably so. These are just masterpieces. I do think they will drop in price incredibly quickly because they are consistently sub $10 for the same bundle on other platforms. But yeah, you can also pick them up individually, but there's no pricing yet on the eShop, and I do suspect this will end up being the more expensive approach. These are classics. My favourite is the original Arkham Asylum, as it's a claustrophobic environment that demands a stealth, but the open world the sequels introduced was fun, and getting behind the wheel of the Batmobile is a blast. There's no question about the quality of these games, now it's really just a question of how do they run. And again, like, this was my personal 15. Do know this is a small sample of games releasing over the next 2 weeks. Just off the top of my head, games that almost made the cut. Wildcard Football could have potential, it's a cartoonish spin on NFL. Project Blue is an ultra-challenging NES-styled game that will for sure find its fans on the Switch. River City Rival Showdown is a rebuild of a beat-em-up classic, which I'm personally excited for. I'm just unsure of the $25 price tag they are asking. And yeah, from here, the list goes on, and Night vs. Giant, Silent Hope, so many games, it's going to be an incredibly busy month. So yeah, that's the video down. What is on your list so far for October? Too many games, as I said, it's going to be dangerous for the bank accounts. But with that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.